Chapter 74. What do you want with your thoughts? Mo Yoka's residence. Ziwei and Chong Sheng had been staying in the kitchen. A group of servants from the Mo mansion were coming in and out, constantly delivering food, and while doing so, they were wiping away their cold sweat. Quick, quick, quick. The last of the marinated beef. Send it up. Housekeeper. They finished eating again. Unceasingly delivering food, Ziwei and Chong Sheng kept eating. Mo Yoka had just accompanied Gu Hai and Long Wen Yu around the metropolis and returned to the house alone, wanting to meet these two people who made Gu Hai esteem them. Family master, what to do? A grey-clothed butler called out with an ugly face. What's wrong? Mo Yoka was puzzled. They're too able to eat. All the food in the mansion. They've eaten it all. That's 20,000 people's rations for one meal, the housekeeper said bitterly. All eaten up, Mo Yoka frowned. Yes, it's about to bottom out. All the stale food in the mansion is going to be eaten clean by them, the housekeeper bitterly said. Then why are you still standing still? Still not going to buy? Mo Yoka raised an eyebrow and said, But, family master, these two eaters are too capable of eating. This way of eating, my Mo mansion is going to be impoverished by them, the housekeeper said bitterly. What are you bothering to say? Whether or not you can eat poorly, is it for you to consider? Mo Yoka coldly said. Yes, I'm talkative. The butler instantly bowed his head. Mo Yoka waved off the butler and was about to step into the kitchen. Steeply, a loud shout came from outside the mansion. Gu Hai, get out here. A furious shout rang out. Clatter. Steeply, endless bats instantly washed over the four directions of the Mo mansion, seemingly rushing into the Mo mansion. Chongming. Mo Yoka raised an eyebrow. Family head, it's bad. My Mo mansion has been surrounded by bats. The steward from earlier once again hurriedly ran back. It shouldn't be. It's impossible for Chong Sheng to come to trouble Gu Hai, Chongwing. Mo Yoka's eyes narrowed slightly. With a flutter of his big sleeve, Mo Yoka walked towards the direction of the gate. In the middle of the metropolis, Mo Yoka had previously accompanied Gu Hai around Metropolis City, and Long Wen Yu proposed to go around on her own, and Mo Yoka naturally agreed, letting Gu Hai and his party walk around on their own. The people were slightly disguised, but they were still recognized many times. Mr. Gu. It's Mr. Gu. Meet Mr. Gu. Mr. Gu, your piece on chivalry. I especially like it. Mr. Gu, I like your piece of General Wine. Born to be a hero. 1,000 gold scattered and returned. It's so well written. Along the way, he encountered a large group of enthusiastic book Dao cultivators. After all, at the mouth of the Wu Yu Academy, Gu Hai's two articles were too amazing for ordinary book Dao cultivators. They were high mountains, and one by one, when they saw Gu Hai, they naturally wanted to pay their respects and get acquainted. Gu Hai smiled and greeted. Long Wen Yu was also excited. This was her brother-in-law. Brother-in-law is powerful. Just should be happy. Only Li Shenji. His face was gloomy. Obviously, Li Shenji couldn't see Gu Hai having a good time. But Long Wen Yu just loved to see others compliment Gu Hai and could only be constantly harassed along the way. The crowd slowly entered an estate. In a parlor, there was a group of unimpressive people waiting at the moment. Night God Guards, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Yes, County Lord, Hall Master Gu, Camp Master Li. Take a moment, Lord Commander. We'll be here soon. One of the unimpressive grey-robed men respectfully said. What the hell? Li Shenji, what kind of road are you leading? Long Wen Yu, however, was somewhat displeased with the quietness of the place. Commander, Li Shenji, however, changed his face. Right at this moment, a slim man slowly walked out of the inner hall. The man's face was serious and his expression was cold. Uniki, Li Shenji's face changed. Commander of the Night God Guard, Ye divine needle, meet you all. The man gave a slight salute. Night God Guard Commander. Gu Hai raised an eyebrow. Eunuch Yi, you actually came to Metropolis City in person. Li Shenji revealed a hint of surprise. Obviously, Eunuch Yi's position in Li Shenji's heart was still quite high. Eunuch Yi, why are you here? Didn't the old man say that you can't leave the imperial capital? Long Wenyu was instantly surprised. Eunuch Yi, the surrounding crowd of Night God Guards' face twitched. In the memory of the crowd of Night God Guards, no one had ever dared to call the commanding envoy as Eunuch Yi. Those who dared to call it that, all died. Commander of the Lord, in Doqian, although not many appearances, but, Doqian, many ministers hear his name, will be scared of the wind. Commander of the Night Guard. You called him Eunuch Yi, of course. This name is only long when you dare to shout. Shouted Yi God Needle, also dare not talk back. Long when you shouted, the great Qian Emperor is an old man, dead old man. Shout you a leaf eunuch, aggrieved you. Yi Divine Needle's serious face could only reveal a bitter smile. Sheriff, it's true that I rarely leave the imperial capital. But, this time, the matter is of great importance, so I've come to personally coordinate and assist you all. Oh, Long when you nodded uncertainly. Eunuch Yi, is there any news? Li Shenji said in a deep voice. Yi Shenji shook his head. I've been here for 2 months, and there's no news yet. Eunuch, you don't need to worry. I've already distributed the Divine Opportunity Battalion disciples out. There should be news soon. Li Shenji, however, laughed. Yi Shenji nodded. Both of you. The Sun trusts both of you. So, this time, I'm just assisting both of you. The 4 directions of the city. What news you need to probe. I'll give you an answer as much as I can. And I hope that you can fulfill the saints' expectations. Yi Divine Needle said in a deep voice. Even Eunuch Yi was sent here. His holiness still attaches the utmost importance to him this time. Li Shenji said in a deep voice. Yi Divine Needle nodded and said, the 10,000 Sacred Assembly will be held soon. The location is confirmed. It will be in my Great Qian Dynasty capital. In my Great Qian Dynasty capital. Li Shenji raised an eyebrow. What is the All Saints Assembly? Gu Hai was puzzled. Yi Shenji looked at Gu Hai in consternation. You're so powerful in the book Dao, you don't know. Gu Hai's eyes were certain that he really didn't know. The 10,000 Sacred Assembly, the 3 great heavenly dynasties, the 3 great holy places, and the great academies of calligraphy will all have people come. And it's the most pinnacle event of the book Dao. The literati of the heavens will gather, and the literary chair will converge, which can lead to the ancient times. Yi Divine Needle solemnly said. No wonder the Sun attaches so much importance to the sacrifice of the state scholarship. He needs to preside over the 10,000 Sacred Assembly to be able to do so. Li Shenji nodded with a sullen face. Unfortunately, all these years, my Night Divine Guards have been poking around in Metropolis, and there have been no results. Now that I've come, and you've come, I don't know what the results will be. I hope I can find a clue. Yi Divine Needle sighed slightly. My Divine Opportunity Battalion. There are a few people who specialize in prying for information. They have their own way of finding out. Perhaps there will be a clue after a while. Li Shenji nodded with a frown. Well, Li Camp Master, this time, the main thing is still rely on you, Ancient Hall Master, for the first time to come to the metropolis. Life is not familiar. Looking for the state scholar sacrifice is quite difficult. But, the Holy Emperor explains, the Ancient Hallmaster has a command, or to do it. The Ancient Hallmaster, how do you need us to assist you? So that it is convenient for you to find the state prison sacrificer. Yi Shenji solemnly said. Li Shenji revealed a light smile of complacency and looked at Gu Hai with cold eyes. Nowadays, it's a mess and clueless. Can you sort it out? Gu Hai, however, had a somewhat odd expression on his face. Seeing Gu Hai's expression, Li Shenji thought that Gu Hai was more difficult, also at a loss, and immediately laughed. Yes, Mr. Gu. If you have any thoughts, you can mention them. We can discuss them together. Hall Master Gu, do you have a solution? Yi Divine Needle frowned. Gu Hai's face became even more odd. Li Shenji sneered and didn't say anything, as if waiting for Gu Hai to make a fool of himself. Thoughts to know, Gu Hai said with an odd face. Oh, Mr. Gu also has times when he has no thoughts. Not like your style, Li Shenji sneered. But, Li Shenji's voice stopped. We've already found where Gong Yongsheng is. What do we need thoughts for? Gu Hai said with an odd expression on his face. Li Shenji, Yi Shenchi. The duo acted as if they hadn't heard clearly just now. Hall Master Gu, what did you say? Yi Divine Needle said with a wave of incredulity. You said you found where Gong Yangsheng is. Aren't you with us? How did you find it? Li Shenji was in disbelief. Yes, but, indeed, I found it. I shouldn't be wrong, Gong Yongsheng. Unless he's not called by that name. Gu Hai nodded affirmatively. Li Shenji and Yu Shenkin, we're still at a loss here, clueless, and you say, you've found it. What kind of joke is this? Gong Yongsheng, I've seen him all before. Long when you said disdainfully from the side. You, County Princess, you've seen Gong Yangsheng. Where is it? How is that possible? Yi Divine Needle's eyes widened at once. After saying that, Yi Shen Needle was abruptly stunned, and immediately figured out how long when you had seen it. And immediately his face was overjoyed. Really found it? Yi Divine Needle carried a hint of surprise. On the side, Li Shenji was torn for a good while. He was just about to taunt Gu Hai, but Gu Hai threw a hard slap. Should it be like this, Gong Yongsheng, trapped in the Bat Ancestor's place, when you said that it was a pool of blood? Gong Yongsheng was wrapped in blood, and it was right when the Bat Ancestor went back from the Wu Yu Academy, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. West of the city, Bat Valley. No wonder, ordinary people can't even go deep enough to enter the Bat Valley. That old thing, Bat Ancestor, is erratic and vicious. Yi Divine Needle frowned slightly. Since Gong Yongsheng has found it, just find a way to save him, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Li Shenji stood on the sidelines amid speechlessness. Yi Shenju, however, nodded. That's fine. Your Majesty. Outside the hall, Bing Ji's voice came steeply. Gu Hai crossed out of the hall in doubt. Outside the hall, there stood Bing Ji, Sima Feng and a group of disciples from the Divine Mechanism Battalion. Your Majesty, some vampires are storming the Mo Mansion, as if they are looking for trouble from us, Bing Ji said as she pointed to the distance. Gu Hai looked up and saw that the land of a bunch of floating islands in the distance was where the Mo Mansion was located. But, at the moment, around the Mo Mansion, it was blackened with countless bats that were rampantly charging the Mo Mansion formation. It's Chongming. I saw him fly over earlier, Sima Feng on the side said in a deep voice.